Grace is a gift. It is a gift from God. We don't earn it. We don't deserve it. It is freely given. Grace is God's favor. It is His love towards us. God shows us grace even when we fail. He loves us unconditionally. This is the amazing gift of grace. Think about a time you were given a gift you didn't deserve. This helps us understand grace. God's grace is a constant. It is always there. We can always rely on it. Grace is undeserved. We cannot earn God's favor. Our good works don't get us grace. It is a free gift. This is a key part of Christian belief. It is important to understand this. We are saved by grace through faith. We rely on God's grace. We accept His love. We receive His forgiveness. Grace changes our lives. It gives us hope. It gives us purpose. Grace is foundational. The whole Christian faith rests on grace. Without grace, there is no Christianity. It is the starting point. It is the cornerstone. It is the basis for our relationship with God. Grace makes forgiveness possible. It makes salvation possible. It makes a new life possible. It is through grace that we can know God. We can experience His love. We can find our purpose. Grace is transformative. When we receive God's grace, we change. We become new people. We are no longer defined by our past. We are defined by God's love. Grace empowers us to live differently. It gives us the strength to resist temptation. It helps us to become more like Jesus. Grace is not just a concept. It is a power. It is a force that changes us from the inside out. It guides us. It directs us. It shapes us. In Western Christianity, grace is central. It is a core belief. It is essential to understanding God. Grace is seen as God's favor. It is His love and mercy. It is freely given to all who believe. We don't earn it by good works. We receive it by faith. This is a key distinction. It sets Christianity apart from other religions. We are not saved by our efforts. We are saved by God's grace. Grace is not a reward. It is not something we earn. It is a gift. We receive it with open hands. We accept it with grateful hearts. We cannot boast about our goodness. We can only boast about God's grace. This humility is important. It keeps us grounded. It reminds us of our dependence on God. It helps us to stay focused on Him. Grace is not a license to sin. Some people misunderstand grace. They think it means they can do whatever they want. This is not true. Grace empowers us to live righteously. It gives us the strength to resist temptation. It helps us to overcome sin. Grace is not an excuse to sin. It is a power to overcome sin. It leads us to live a life pleasing to God. Grace is always available. God's grace is never ending. It is always there for us. No matter what we have done, no matter how far we have fallen, we can always turn to God. We can always receive His grace. His love is unconditional. His forgiveness is complete. His grace is sufficient. This is a comforting truth. It gives us hope. It gives us strength. Different Christian traditions understand grace in unique ways. The Eastern Orthodox Church views grace as God's energies. These energies allow us to participate in the divine nature. This is a mystical understanding of grace. It emphasizes our union with God. It highlights the transformative power of grace. It connects us to the divine. The churches of Christ emphasize grace as God's gift. This gift operates through living faith. They highlight Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. This verse states that we are saved by grace through faith. It is not from ourselves, it is the gift of God. This emphasizes the unearned nature of grace. It underscores the importance of faith. It shows us that salvation is a gift. Despite the different perspectives, there is common ground. All Christian traditions agree that grace is a gift. They agree that it is undeserved. They agree that it is essential for salvation. These core beliefs unite Christians. They form the foundation of our faith. They point us toward God. Grace is a mystery. We may not fully understand it, but we can experience it. We can receive it. We can live in it. This is the beauty of grace. It is beyond our comprehension, but it is within our reach. We can embrace it. We can let it transform us. Section 4. Grace in Action, Living a Transformed Life. Grace is not just a theological concept. It has practical implications. It affects how we live. It changes our behavior. It shapes our character. Grace empowers us to live differently. It gives us the strength to do what is right. Grace motivates us to serve others. When we experience God's grace, we want to share it. We want to show love and compassion to others. We want to make a difference in the world. This is a natural outflow of grace. It compels us to act. It inspires us to serve. Grace helps us to forgive others. Just as God has forgiven us, we can forgive others. This is not always easy, but grace gives us the strength to do it. Forgiveness is a powerful expression of grace. It sets us free. It heals relationships. Grace enables us to live with joy and peace. When we live in God's grace, we experience His peace. We find joy in His presence. This joy and peace are not dependent on our circumstances. They are rooted in our relationship with God. This is the transformative power of grace. Section 5. Embracing Grace, a Path to Personal Transformation. Grace is an invitation. It is an invitation to experience God's love. It is an invitation to receive His forgiveness. It is an invitation to live a transformed life. This invitation is open to everyone. No one is excluded. Embracing grace requires humility. We must admit that we need God's grace. We must acknowledge our imperfections. We must recognize our dependence on Him. This humility opens the door to grace. It allows us to receive God's love. Living in grace is a journey. It is not a destination. It is a process of growth and transformation. We learn to rely on God's grace. We learn to live in His love. We learn to become more like Jesus. Grace is a gift. Don't let it pass you by. Embrace God's grace. Experience its transformative power. Live a life filled with love, joy, and peace. This is the promise of grace. This is the hope of Christianity.